David Smith here with another Flip Classroom math video. A few tips before we start. Remember that you can slow down or speed up the playback if that helps you follow along. You can also pause the video at any point to catch up with your notes or to try the problems before I explain them. Finally, you could turn on the captions and read my words below on the bottom of your screen. Today's topic, sample space. Sample space is another probability vocab word. This comes in mostly in experimental probability. This is the set of all possible outcomes for whatever experiment it is that we're doing. We can show sample space three ways, with lists, grids, and trees. I'm going to show you each of those. Let's start with lists. But first we need to talk about the situation that we're going to use here. A lot of probability deals with drawing cards from a regular deck of playing cards. By the end of this unit, you should be thoroughly comfortable with all the possibilities in a deck of playing cards. Okay, so we're going to draw two cards from a regular deck, and we're going to track, with a K, track the color. And we know from cards that there's either red or black. So half the cards are red, half the cards are black. So sample space with a list would be like so. I could draw two cards, I could get a red and then a red. That's one possible outcome. I could get a red and I could get a black. That's a second possible outcome. I could get a black first, then a red, a third outcome, and then I could get two blacks. Now, these are different outcomes. Even though I wind up with one each of each color, this one is red first, black second. This is black first, red second. So these are different outcomes. Okay? So fairly simple, four outcomes, drawing two cards. Now let's do the same thing with three cards. Same situation, tracking color. First one, red, red, red. Okay? Now, to find all of the outcomes, you've got to be methodical. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one black. So red, red, black, red, black, red, and black, red, red. So I've got my three reds. Now I've got two reds and one black, all organized that way. Now I have two blacks. So let's do red, black, black. Let's do black, red, black, and then black, black, red. Okay, so these are all the outcomes with two blacks, and then I have my final, which is three blacks. Black, black, black. So here we had just four possible outcomes. In this case, we have 8. Okay, let's take a look at a grid. Grids. Same situation. Two cards tracking red or black. A grid is kind of like a graph. So we have red, black on one axis. This could be first draw. And this could be our second draw. And each draw has either red or black, red or black. So we have a dot here. This is the red, red. This is the red first, black second. This is the black first, red second. And then finally we have black first, black second. So this works with drawing two cards. We couldn't use this grid with three cards unless we had 3D paper. We could make a third axis that comes out here, and we could get the other four probabilities out in the air. But we're not going to do that. So grids are somewhat limited. They do have a nice feature that we'll come to in another lesson. Okay, let's take a look at trees. Trees are both the most complicated and the most powerful. So you might feel reluctant to use trees at first, but I'm going to push you to do that because trees are the most powerful way of looking at probability. We're going to spend quite a bit of time looking at how to do trees. So a tree looks like this. We start at this point and we draw one card and we can get two options. We can get red or we can get black. Now that we've done that, we're going to draw again. So if we drew first red, now we have the option of getting another red or getting a black. Now if we drew first black, we have the option of getting a red second or getting a second that's a black. So this is like the first draw, this column, and this is like the second draw. Now as we start doing more calculations with trees, we're going to add some information to this diagram that's going to make it very easy for us to calculate probabilities of things like, what are the chances of getting a red first and a black second? Or what are the chances of getting a black second regardless of the first card? Things like that. It gets more complex. So let's do a tree for three cards, tracking the color just like this one, but we're going to do it for three draws. So our start is going to be like it was before, red possible or black. Now our second like before, red or black, red or black. But now we have, we're going to draw a third card. We have 4 possibilities at the end of 2 draws, right? We could have 4 different combos. Now we're going to get 2 more for each of these. Now it's kind of hard sometimes to draw your trees so that they're all even. You'll get better practiced at it. So after this draw, I could again draw a red and then a black, a red and then a black, a red and then a black, a red and then a black. So each one of these endings represents one of those 8 combos that we did when we did the list. Like this branch represents red, red, red. This one represents red, red, black. Let's say this one down here represents drawing red first, then, black first, then red, then black. Again, this is the first draw, second draw, and the third draw, right there. Now that you've finished, take a moment to write down any questions so you can bring them to our next class and get some help. You can also watch the video again to improve your understanding. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button down below, and if you'd like to help me grow my YouTube channel, please click subscribe.